Hey everyone, and welcome to Lab 2. So Lab 2 in our Physics 1105 class is down here in the Lab 2 section. And let's take a look at the manual. This does not need the lab manual. Sorry, not the lab manual. It does not need the lab kit, as you can see here. It is another informal lab, which means that there will be a quiz at the end that you need to answer. And here's a really important lab because you're going to be learning some stuff about how to do error analysis and how to test the null hypothesis as you go through this lab. Now, there are two parts to the lab, so let's take a look at those two parts. So here we go to the lab manual. I always like to open it in another tab. Okay. Let's see, here we go. So as you can see, there's an introduction. And here is the simulation itself. It's called Moving Man. So you should open that up before you keep reading, I would say. Now, there's some information about how to do a straight line fit in Excel. There's information about combining errors, if you look over here. And the null hypothesis. Now, all of this is really important to learn for the rest of your lab times here at Randolph College. So it'll also be used in Physics 1106 for those of you who are going on to the next class in the next session. So please pay us very good attention. These have examples for you to follow. And then there is a book that the chair of our department wrote that's really nice. It's a downloadable book. That's all about error analysis and all the things that you might need to know. Okay, now the pre-lab will have this exact data on Moodle. So there's a pre-lab where you're going to be looking at this data in Excel, and you'll have this data on Moodle for you, but here it is. Okay, now the procedure, there's two parts. There's a qualitative where you're going to use that simulation and try to reproduce graphs that we've given you. And you're going to talk about in your informal quiz, how did you get these? What did you make the man do to try to reproduce the graphs in the simulation? Okay, this is very qualitative. It doesn't have to be exact. It's the shape we're looking at, okay? And even here in number 5, you can see we're writing in a possible scenario for the graph, right? We don't mean that you get all the way to -10, but the shape, right? So there's an increasing position here, and then no change in position, and this gradual change here. So you should be thinking about how you would do that with the simulation and then write about it. Okay, and a couple more like in the same vein. Now, the quantitative part of this uses data that we give you. Okay, so everybody will have the same data. So when you fill out the informal lab quiz, you should get what the quiz is asking. So the quiz is actually going to ask you for the numbers, right? Meaning like, what did you get for the velocity, etc., and the 90% confidence interval. And you should be able to get exactly the numbers that the quiz is asking for, because you're using this, everybody uses the same data. Now, if you don't want to copy it here, I believe, let's go back to our Lab 2 manual, scroll down again. Here we go, down to Lab 2. Yeah, I think you do have to copy it off of that page, but it's really easy to copy it, right? You just literally highlight it. You can highlight the whole thing and paste it right into Excel, and then you're good to go. Okay. And then don't forget there's an analysis tab that tells you exactly what to do, right? And this write-up stuff here is just, this is the same in every lab manual. It'll say if it's a written lab, what you do, if it's an informal lab, right? This informal lab quiz, etc. So this will be the same for every lab, this section. So as you go through, you'll know a little better how to do each of those kinds of reports. Okay. Well, just let me know if you have any problems, and good luck with Lab 2.